folk, welcome to the video. I don't know if you can tell by the light quality, the colour in the room at the moment, but I'm recording this very early in the morning. It makes a lot of sense to do this early in the morning because I want to talk about the Vale of Beltane, and I feel that Beltane and Samhain have the same kind of liminal energy as very early in the morning when the sun's just coming up, or last thing in the day when the sun's going down. There's a very magical quality to it. So since Samhain, I've been thinking about the topic, is the veil thin at Beltane? Now, this isn't a subject that has ever been discussed very much online. I see people put their belief forwards that yes it is or no it isn't, but there is never a discussion. But I have seen conflicting views. So I wanted to do a video and tell you what I think, and then give you an explanation as to why I actually think that. So first of all, what is the veil? Well, the ancient Celtic peoples saw the veil between this world and the next as more mist-like in quality. So I think today as modern pagans, we have this idea that it's like a piece of gossamer, like a piece of fabric, and that becomes a bit confusing when we get round to Samhain and we talk about the veil being thinner. How does a piece of fabric become thinner? What makes it do that? Now, I think there is something that is getting us confused, and my belief that I've picked up over the years from reading, and occasionally, again, no one really talks about the veil very much, but we think that this idea has come from the death of Christ. So at the Temple of Jerusalem there was this big heavy curtain, and when Christ died, when that death happened, this heavy curtain ripped, and that was like the fabric of the world, almost like the fabric of matter. And when that ripped, he became closer to spirits. So I think this is where we get this idea from of fabric, and there being sort of that sort of like being between life and death, you know, this idea of a curtain and ripping and then being in one state and then moving to another. I think that has become conflated with our idea of this mist, this idea from the Celtic people. So it's all got a bit mixed up and a bit jumbled, and really a mist makes more sense, doesn't it? Because when we talk about being able to reach across the veil and being able to connect with spirits and loved ones and ancestors much more easily, it makes sense to sort of reach through a mist rather than trying to get through a piece of fabric. I think that has been a very confusing topic within paganism and witchcraft and druidry and things like that. So is the veil thinner at Beltane? Let's get on to that. I actually want you to stop the video, and I want you to think. I want you to decide, what do you think? Do you think, if you've got any feelings at all on the veil at Samhain, if you feel that things are a certain way, the energy is a certain way, I want you to stop for a moment before I tell you what I think, and think about how you feel at Beltane. What does the energy feel like then? If you work with spirits and ancestors and God's guides and guardians, are you more able to do that at Beltane? Is there no difference? Maybe you don't have any experience on this at all, and that's absolutely okay as well. This is why I do these videos, so that we can explore these ideas if you are learning. Do you think there are any reasons why it would or wouldn't be thinner at Beltane? So my view is yes. If we're saying that the veil is thin at Samhain, I believe it is thin at Beltane. I was always taught that it was thinner at Beltane. I've seen several notable classic authors, if you like, stating this, and it is seen as a time where we can more easily contact certain entities and beings, but there is a focus, I think, on things like the Fae, the good folk, rather than ancestors. But I think that I think it's exactly the same, and I was really surprised when I had some formal training about 6 or 7 years ago. I was really surprised when my tutor said, no, she doesn't think the veil is thinner at Beltane, and she was quite adamant at that. And I massively trusted her opinion, and do trust her opinion on lots of things. However, I disagree. I respectfully and politely disagree. I have my own thoughts. So I'm about to share those with you. So here is my reasoning. I had a bit of a brainstorming session about this. I've got my basic view, but I wanted to really explain this and make it really, really clear to you guys. You, of course, are welcome to form your opinion. You might completely disagree with me, and you might think the points I've raised don't make any sense. So it's entirely up to you. Your spiritual path, your witchcraft path, is yours to cultivate and grow. And yes, well, there are certain facts and things like that. Things like the veil, it's a mystery. It's one of the mysteries, and that is the beauty of witchcraft. But that also means that leaves that open to your interpretation. So the main reason I think the veil is thinner at Beltane as it is at Samhain is because when it is Beltane here in the northern hemisphere, it is Samhain in the southern hemisphere. Now, I do appreciate, and we've spoken before, that about the fact that if there isn't an exact sort of yes, we're working in opposites, whether in the northern hemisphere and the southern hemisphere. You will have to excuse me because it's early in the morning and I'm trying to get my brain going. That doesn't always neatly sort of copy over. So for example, Yule, which is, what has become our Christmas celebration, it would be the summer solstice in the southern hemisphere, but equally that tradition of Christmas, which has come from Yule, that doesn't quite work. We can't, do complete opposites the whole time. I mean, yes, it's the summer solstice, but we're having the winter solstice up here in the northern hemisphere, but there is the celebration of Christmas going on, which has come from Yule. So it's a bit difficult with things like that. But anyway, we are talking opposite energies, and we are looking at the wheel of the year being flipped on its head, depending on which hemisphere you're in. But when it is Beltane here in the northern hemisphere, it is Samhain in the southern hemisphere. So are we really going to say that the veil is thin for half the world? How does that work? Where is the line? Who draws the line? Where exactly is the line? And Beltane is not one day. So what I mean by that is any of the festivals, which is why I'm always sort of really pushing the idea that if you cannot celebrate on the day of a festival, of a Sabbath, because life has taken over, it does not matter, because it is a gradual move towards that day and then a gradual move away from that day. And so this is where it gets a bit difficult and a bit arbitrary to say that something can only happen in one place. Well, where does that line start and where does it stop, and on what day? That's the point I'm making here. And I believe that you can feel the energy changing as you move towards Samhain. It's not just on Samhain that there's just one day. I don't think spiritual matters work like that. I don't think the ancestors work to a time and, it's such and such on such and such a day, right, we're going to be more available. I don't think it works like that. And again, I don't think it works like that with the world. I find it very hard to believe that while we are celebrating Beltane, or let's say while we are celebrating Samhain up here on the northern hemisphere, that energy, that change in energy, is not available to people on the planet who are alive and awake at the same time. I find that really, really difficult to kind of get my head around. I don't feel that is a sensible idea. So this line of thinking really makes no sense to me. And this is, I suppose, my main point is that where do you draw the line then? If we're only experiencing the veil being thin in the northern hemisphere, then where is that line? You know, how far across the planet is that accessibility, and where do we stop that? If Samhain is a receptive time and the energy is much more receptive to certain things, and surely Beltane must be as well, I feel that balance and duality are part of nature, and they're part of every single thing. So again, I feel like there has to be some balance in that if Samhain is considered a special time in this way, then Beltane must be as well. The festivals of Samhain and Beltane are gateways to the lighter and darker half of the year. They're portals, and they're happening simultaneously. So whether it's Beltane or Samhain up here, it's the opposite in the southern hemisphere, energetically speaking. So I don't believe that we can kind of have a portal and it only again be accessible or apparent to one half of the planet. That just does not make sense to me. And I don't think that spirits, entities, gods, guardians, ancestors, the Fae, any of those kind of beings are governed by labels or time. So, you know, if we're celebrating Samhain in the northern hemisphere, I don't think the ancestors are like, oh, okay, yeah, we're readily available to those people because it's Samhain, but it's Beltane in the southern hemisphere. We can't go and interact with them more easily. We're going to make it more difficult. I just don't think that makes any sense. They won't be less available because it's Beltane rather than Samhain. You know, these are names that we've come up with as people, but we're talking about energetic forces here. So I think globally the energy is raised. I think it might be perhaps slightly different between the northern hemisphere and the southern hemisphere when it's Beltane or Samhain, and we're experiencing these opposites. Again, I think this is all about balance and duality, but I think globally the energy as a whole is different at these times. So it's different, you know, when it's Samhain for us, the energy is different. But equally, that means the energy is going to be different for those in the southern hemisphere at Beltane and vice versa. The energy is going to be different just globally to what it is at other times in the wheel of the year. So I do think these are special moments, and I do think that they have an effect on us and our abilities and how we can interact in this world. I don't think this world is one-dimensional. I think there are other dimensions. But I can't see it that that's only happening for half of the people or half of the planet. You know, I'm imagining half a planet, and that just makes no sense to me. So therefore, I do believe that the veil is thin at Beltane. And I think that whilst we are very much focusing on death and other realms and passing over and things like that at Samhain, I think at Beltane there is an opposite feel. It's very much about life and energy and vitality and abundance. But I think those qualities allow us to reach over into the spirit world in the same way, because I think those energies are just as strong, and I think they are a balance to and a duality of the nature and the energy that we experience at Samhain. So yeah, whenever it is Samhain in the world, it is also Beltane, and whenever it is Beltane in the world, it is also Samhain.